My name is Neil Ticktin. I'm the editor-in-chief and publisher of MacTech Magazine. We're here this week with TUAW interviewing developers on their experience with WWDC 2012 here in San Francisco. And we're looking to find out a little bit about what they're doing, about their favorite parts of the keynote and the announcements that Apple made this week, and of course any challenges or opportunities that they may see as a result of those announcements that Apple has made. So I'm sitting here right now with Paul Carnine, who's a developer for Telestream. So Paul, thank you for joining us and spending some time with us this afternoon. Yep. So why don't we talk a little bit about just what Telestream does
Okay.
in there. So there's a lot of things that you guys got going on. Let's kind of dive in a little bit.
Well, we have a whole spectrum of products, all the way from enterprise products down to desktop products.
Okay.
And on the enterprise side, a lot of it's worked based on transcoding, so being able to transcode at a very high level these very long workflows, and it's used in a lot of studios to do transcoding.
And to be clear for people, this is video that
That's
we're
correct. Video transcoding, well, and audio
right.
transcoding,
Right.
and all of the workflows that go along with that.
Exactly.
So you can imagine all these very complicated workflows to get different bit rates and different things out the back end to be able to produce.
Sure.
And this is very high-end stuff, so it's used by studios and things like that. That's correct.
Yeah.
And then there's a whole gamut of desktop products.
Sure.
Flip for Mac.
Yeah.
ScreenFlow, Wirecast, Episode. So these are products also that are very much related to video and video processing. In fact, Episode is also a transcoding service.
And of course, Flip for Mac is a product that so many people use because it's one of the only ways you really have been able to play WMV videos and things along those lines. So there's a free version of Flip for Mac, and then there's the Pro version, I think it's called, that they can get additional features and whatnot. So there's a fairly large base of people that have been able to use this stuff, over the years.
That's correct, and we've worked quite hard to make sure that we keep up with all the most recent releases with Microsoft and work very close with them to make sure that we have those libraries.
Microsoft has new releases periodically?
Yes.
You didn't know that now.
Yes.
So you have the desktop products, and why don't we touch on them a little bit and talk about the desktop products a little bit.
Okay, well, Episode is a transcoding solution, and that just got a really big update about a year and a half ago. Very, very large update, and we're keeping to rev it quite often. There's another rev that's going to be coming this summer. Wirecast is sort of like a live studio broadcasting solution, much like what we'd be doing here if we were doing it live.
Right.
So we could have multiple cameras, we could be switching between those multiple cameras, we could be saving that output to disk while at the same time streaming it live to the internet or perhaps just around your office space. ScreenFlow is a recording system that allows you to record everything that's going on in your Macintosh, including the audio, including the camera, and save out all the disk, and then edit it afterwards.
Right. And of course, for software developers, ScreenFlow is one of the ways that you can do really, really effective screencasts and show recordings and videos of how your product works, maybe demonstrations of it if you're doing it on a pre-sale basis or from a support point of view. This is how you do this, and you can just show the people how to do it from a training video point of view or a support point of view. So ScreenFlow has long been a product that people have been able to take advantage of in that way, and that's great for developers.
And it's really fun for me. Actually, I worked quite a lot on ScreenFlow, and it's fun for me when I start to see other apps come out and look around, and I can actually see those demos that have been done by ScreenFlow, and it makes me quite proud to see that. Right.
All right, so you got ScreenFlow, Flip for Mac. We talked about some of the other ones in here. Anything else? That's a pretty big spectrum in there.
Yep.
So for most of the viewers of this in here, I think the desktop products are actually where that. Some people are up in the broadcast range and whatnot, in the enterprise range, but that's a kind of a different segment of people that are in here. So I guess first of all, from a personal point of view, what was the most exciting thing you saw in the announcements?
I think easily it's Retina displays.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing that sticks out in my mind from a Mac from the Mac side. I mean, there's lots of things going on in iOS 6, but I'm not that involved in that area.
Right.
But from a Mac side, that's the big thing, because that's the back to Mac stuff. It's taking that resolution and bring it back to the Mac, and that has very direct input on what I do.
And it's for that reason that I'm allowing you, unlike most other people, to say the Retina display on the MacBook Pro was one of their most, one of their most favorite ones, because most of the time everybody says, "I just want the Retina display," there. But in your guys' case, it makes a very specific, direct impact on what your product can do.
It's huge.
It's huge. It really is. And
It's gonna increase the quality of zoom and scale and things like that, because you're going to be able to zoom in very, very deep.
or not even have to zoom at all.
Right.
Because it's just right there.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
But it also has some side effects in that there's a lot of performance issues that it brings up. I mean, a lot of apps these days, the people that use core animation and things like that, they don't really think that much about how many pixels you're throwing at the screen.
Right.
But in our case, we're not only throwing pixels at the screen, we're pulling pixels from the screen.
Right.
And we're now going to have to be pulling 4 times the amount of pixels and processing 4 times the amount of pixels.
Now, does the NVIDIA stuff help you at all in there, or you're working directly enough with what's going on that you have to kind of go around that?
We do most of the stuff
Yourself?
ourselves.
Yeah. Kind of suspect.
So there's some help that happens behind the screen because of the newer GPUs and things like that. But mostly it's the stuff of us just with our pipeline having to try and get all that stuff pushed through.
Nothing like a good challenge.
Exactly.
Fortunately, you got some good processing power in there
Yes.
too, and
Yes.
you know, maybe there's ways through Grand Central to be able to grab some additional help from the GPU and things along those lines. Something that will allow you to kind of throw as much processing power out as you possibly can from within the machine. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we've been using a lot of those tricks already.
To get there. Yeah.
So.
Well, but now you got an even faster GPU and an even faster processor.
Yep.
So
No, it's all
definitely
going to work out.
Yep.
We've got some really good performance coming out. So.
Yeah, that's great. What am I missing? What else? We talked a little bit there about challenges. Anything that was like a favorite personal, announcement that they had made in there beyond, the Retina display?
No, I think what I'm looking forward to more is some more focus back on the Mac side, because there's been so much focus on the iOS side that it seems like that tide is turning.
Macs
so I know
for people too.
But to me, it feels like that tide's turning a little bit. So if you ask me from a personal level, that's
Right.
the thing that I take away from. That's not an announcement.
Right.
That's not something that somebody said.
No,
but you
it's
can
a
start
shift.
to look at how things are starting to move
Yeah.
a little bit, and things are starting to come back, and focus is starting to be more on the Mac side. And there seems to be the ability now to not just have to go and release iOS and then release Mac. It seems like they're able to do both at the same time.
Right.
And so that personally makes me more excited, because I've felt a little bit like
Stepchild.
for a little bit.
Yeah, great. Well, Paul, thank you for coming by and joining us and being with us today and talking to us about what Telestream does and some of the things that are coming down the pike here. And my name is Neil Ticktin, and these are the TUAW MacTech Magazine interviews of developers at WWDC 2012. Thanks for watching.